AM 560. The Answer.
He had a big old plane, the Lolita Express. Had it for no Secret Service, but the feds knew who flew.
And they all knew.
That's why he didn't kill himself.
And Reid Hoffman bribed a schizophrenic lunatic with a cat named Nipples to lie about being raped by Trump.
You don't feel like a victim?
I was not thrown on the ground and ravished, which the word rape carries so many sexual connotations. This was not sexual. It hurt.
Well, I think most people think of rape as it is a violent assault. It is not.
I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
Because you're a schizophrenic.
Let's take a short break.
Think of the fantasies.
We're just going to take a quick break. If you can stick around, we'll talk more on the other side.
You're fascinating to talk to.
Yeah. Where's my cat Nipples? Sick bastards.
Providing that support was something that I felt very happy to do. You know, the press kind of made a big deal out of a secret. It's like, look, actually, in fact, most philanthropy in the world and most philanthropy I do, I don't like publish list of it. I just do it. And I think the speaking truth to power and having a woman have her voice, having a chance to be heard and not squirrel.
I don't know, Squirrel. I'm not a lawyer. But that has to be all kinds of illegal. Has to be all kinds of wrong when you bribe a schizophrenic lunatic, when you bribe them to make up a claim of rape, you use your political agenda and power to remove a statute of limitations, and you get some crooked Democrat judge. Of course, that's not really that illegal. Take a look at Cook County or anywhere there's Democrat judges. They've been letting these Democrats skate for years.
Can explain the code words in his emails.
Hey, John Podesta, can you please explain why you have children rented for entertainment for your adult hot tub parties? No one has ever explained why John Podesta has literal pedophile and cannibalism paintings all over his office and his home. Tony Podesta, too. And then you look into the Spirit cooking dinners, and you look into Marina Abramovic, who's...
They were crazy when this came out, the Podestas. Crazy. But it was real. It was true. And you know who did a wonderful expose when he had a television show, Squirrel? You remember? Tucker, before he lost his mind.
America, we've been told for the last year, is besieged by shadowy foreign actors seeking to undermine American interests. Now, the people making that claim, you may have noticed, are doing it for partisan reasons, but that doesn't mean they're entirely wrong. In fact, it turns out they might be more right than they know. And the real problem has very little to do with the last presidential election. Washington is indeed awash in foreign money. Other countries pay lobbyists to do their bidding here. We got a window into how all of this works in Monday's indictment of Paul Manafort. Now, according to federal investigators, Manafort took money from pro-Russia political figures in Ukraine and funneled that cash through lobbyists in D.C. One of the lobbying firms Manafort hired is called the Podesta Group. Its founders, Tony and John Podesta, are probably the single best connected Democrats in Washington, in part because they're among Bill and Hillary Clinton's oldest and closest friends. What exactly did the Podesta Group do with all the money they got from Paul Manafort, who got it from the Ukrainians? Well, according to the federal indictment, Tony Podesta, quote, lobbied multiple members of Congress and their staffs about Ukraine sanctions, the validity of Ukraine elections, and the propriety of Ukrainian President Viktor Yanukovych imprisoning his presidential rival, end quote. Now, did you catch the key phrase in there? It was members of Congress.
Boy, did it work. He retired, by the way, the slob Podesta, not the skinny, creepy one, the big fat slob one. But they both had the pictures of the pedophiles on their wall, the sick, disgusting artwork. And it really worked. We paid for it, but it worked.
The wife of a Ukrainian politician has been caught allegedly smuggling $28 million and 1.3 million euros in cash. Anastasia Kozitska was...
We forgot to talk about that, too. What happened to the $200 billion? In the wind! The Podestas.
Ukrainians were not paying to influence a presidential campaign. They were paying to sway the Congress, the body that makes this country's laws. According to a confidential source we talked to, the Podesta Group consistently arranged meetings between American lawmakers and pro-Russian agents. Our source says Podesta set up several meetings between pro-Russian Ukrainians and then Senate Foreign Relations Committee Chairman Bob Menendez of New Jersey.
And yet, with all of what we now know, the scandals, Manafort, the prison, Bob Menendez prison and the gold bars, where's the mention of Podestas? Any mention of the Podestas? Of course not.
Can explain the code words in his emails.
There's code words in Hoffman's emails when he talked about children and pleasure. He liked to use words that nobody could tie to his big fat ass. He used pizza and ice cream and hot dogs. It's the perfect cover when you're built like a beanbag. 312-642-5600.
Marxists, socialists, and communists are not welcome on the Sean Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.